Raghav Khanna, Unmukt, welcome to CNN News 18.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
The documentary Unbroken, the Unmukt story, directed by Raghav, tells the inspiring journey of Unmukt, the famous right-handed batsman who led India to victory in the Under-19 World Cup in the year 2012. First of all, thank you, Unmukt, for bringing the trophy home. And Raghav, to begin with, how it all started, what inspired you to tell Unmukt's story?
So, like all of us, I saw Unmukt winning that Under 19 World Cup in 2012 with that century in the final. Then we remember Unmukt for that infamous delivery at opening of the IPL. A few years later, I get a notification that Unmukt is retiring from Indian cricket at age 28. And I realized that a young lad with such enormous talent retiring without playing even a single match for India's senior, there must be something more to the story. So I reached out to him and we connected. A few weeks later, we met in the US, and I told him that, there's a story I want to tell, a documentary film on you, because the highs you've seen and the lows you've seen, the contrasting nature of those emotions in such a short span of time, there is a big story to be told here. And that story is not only confined to cricket, is not only confined to sports, it'll resonate with people widely. So Unmukt and his family agreed graciously. And what emerged is a deeply personal and vulnerable narrative of life giving you second chances, of taking your broken dreams and making something meaningful out of it. And what we've done is we've told this story in an entertaining and a dramatic manner. When you're watching it, you don't feel that okay, it's a conventional documentary. The experience is cinematic, the experience is entertaining.
Unmukt, you made the nation proud. Even you actually went on to play in the IPL as well. But what did it feel like in that moment when you lifted the Under 19 World Cup trophy? And how did that milestone influence your journey as a cricketer?
Well, obviously, that was a very special moment for me personally. Uh, I had always sort of dreamt of, winning that cup, especially, after seeing Virat do it 4 years back. So it was very special for me personally, and it holds a very special place in my heart because that changed a lot of a lot of things going forward. Obviously, I became a household name in the country, but at the same time, more opportunities opened up for me as well. And again, for any 19-year-old, winning that trophy is one of the biggest moments of your cricketing journey.
Raghav, how do you think this story reflects the larger realities of Indian cricket and its pressure cooker environment?
So, this story paints multiple lesser detailed facets of cricket. At any given point, there are upwards of 10, 15 crore people aspiring to play cricket at a competitive level. And that is not only limited to children, the journey involves their parents as well. It is a labyrinth and a machinery that runs, that starts probably in your gully or on top of your terrace, all the way to the professional stadium. So we've captured that in a nostalgic, entertaining, and relatable manner, where not many of us have played professional sport. Most of us have not, to be honest. But that emotion of falling in love with this sport is something we've brought out. Then, like any other discipline, with every higher rank, with every escalating stage, the competition doubles down. It takes twice as much out of you. That's something you see behind the scenes as Unmukt moves from uh, like under 14, 15 to under 19. And then the unforgiving competitive nature of professional sports, because uh, the limited window of opportunity, the limited time window that sports people have, that cricketers have. And what is unique about cricket in India is that the influx of talent is so enormous that if you don't grab by both hands the opportunity that's presented to you, It's difficult for you to wait for another chance. And most importantly, I think during the course of this filming, through his journey and through experiences of making this film, we realized that in spite of your best efforts, truest of intentions, everything working for you, there is that variable that's not in your control. And that sometimes has outsized impact in how your life plays out.
Unmuk, in the documentary, you say after a point, everything started fading from things working for me to against me. Can you please tell us about what was that phase like and how it impacted you both personally and professionally?
Well, obviously with when I started playing board cricket, having the early success with when I played for Delhi and then eventually for India under 19, taking it on to India A's and being successful over there for a good period of time, to suddenly getting dropped from the Delhi side in 2016, suddenly not having an IPL contract, so those things are very contrasting emotions, and obviously it's very difficult as a cricketer. One day you have everything, one day you're just sort of knocking the door, and the next day you feel that you're not even in your state side. So it's a pretty difficult emotion to sort of deal with, and a lot of cricketers go through this, and to sort of emerge out of it is something which requires a lot of support from, definitely from people around you, but at the same time I think there has to be that fire within you which always keep burning, right? And as a cricketer I've always learned this, that come what may, whatever happens, yes, do reflect on it, but at the same time, next day, go in there and again sort of, work hard, keep fighting for your dreams. Don't let all these setbacks, determine the course of your future. I mean, in terms of your will breaking down. So, that's what I've always tried to do, and this is something which has always shaped me, and I feel grateful that even those moments came to me, because it has shaped me into a person I am today.
Do you feel then external factors like selection politics or decision beyond performance influence your chance of making it to Indian team?
Well, see, these things are again beyond your control, right? There's so many things which can go wrong, and especially when in a country like India where there are like so many cricketers, so many factors are there. Sometimes, even when you're doing well, that slot is not there, right? Because only 11 can play, right? So I think all these things are there, but as a cricketer, you want to make sure that you keep doing your best, you keep making sure that you score more runs in the next season, and that is my quest with myself. I mean, these things are again very debatable, we can keep talking about these things, but I feel as a person, this is what I do also. What I can do best, how I can get better at what I do is something which I always look forward to.
Raghav, documentaries walk a fine line between emotion and truth. How did you verify the personal accounts shared by Unmukt and others?
So, as a part of documentary filmmaking, you have to be truthful to the subject and the facts that present themselves. You can't alter them. A lot of it is also opinion, but what distinguishing you need to bring in as a filmmaker is that an opinion must be presented as an opinion and a fact, uh, statistic presented as it is. Uh, and that is where you have to doubly verify everything that you're saying or everything that's being said. Because, like I said, that you don't want to deny people to talk about their opinion and their feelings, but at the same time you need to make it clear to the audience that this is an individual's personal opinion. Facts remain facts. I don't think that they need to be challenged or contested. But what is sacrosanct to documentary filmmaking is that you are not presenting anything as fact which is not a fact. You are being true to the story, you are being true to the events in that person's life. Like, for instance, and it doesn't only apply to what is being said. I can't one day ask him that, Unmuk, why don't you cry for the camera if he doesn't feel like crying? If he tells me that, this happened and I cried, I may want to recreate that moment for cinematic purpose. But to alter the design of your story, the direction where it's headed, I think that somewhere takes away from it being a true documentary, which we've stayed away from.
What was the most challenging part then, perhaps, for you? when you're working on this documentary, shooting or getting people to come out and speak truly openly?
Well, multiple challenges. We lived in two different parts of the world, so every time we were filming, I had to take a trip and be there for 15, 20 days at a stretch, and there were at least 6 to 7 of such trips. Won't call it a challenge, that was just the requirement of the work. But this documentary is made with a lot of third party participation, right from sports bodies across the world, brands and corporates, news networks, where we had to license, request for their material through official channels while ensuring the paperwork is there. And that took a lot of time, and it does in any documentary's case. That's why sports and music, because of the archive heavy nature of those documentaries, are one of the hardest subjects to make on, because you don't know till the very end whether you'll get a certain footage which suits your story or not.
I was going through some of the discussion boards on the net. And Unmukt, you are just 32 now. Like Surya Kumar Yadav, who's 34, have made a strong impact recently. Like, do you think your age still gives you a fair chance to be noticed by selectors and possibly make a comeback to the Indian cricket team?
Well, now that I've left the system, so obviously now I'm trying for USA now because it's been 4 years now since I've left India. So again, coming back is not an option because it again would take me 3 more years to sort of finish that cooling off period in India if that happens. But again, obviously the cricketing journey continues. If not in India, but it's in US, and the plan is still the same to do the best I can for US. Uh, Take the cricket forward. The franchise cricket world has opened up now, so obviously I want to play all the big franchise tournaments that are happening across the world, and still like a thorough sportsman, professional, I need to just go there and perform and give my best shot.
Raghav, would you like to share any memorable anecdote from the making of Unmukt Chand documentary? Perhaps a meeting with a former cricketer or BCCI official that changed your way how you view the game of cricket.
So through making this film, I met a lot of people who work silently behind the scenes, be it nutritionists, trainers, management of sports bodies, and you realize that it is as much a business, it is as much an industry as anything else. We as viewers see what happens on the field and root for our heroes, celebrate their success and feel dismayed upon their losses. But this entire machinery that works invisibly behind the scenes to conduct tournaments, find young talent, bring it to the foreground, and then nurture them is something that was a deeper revelation. I won't say I wasn't aware of it, but the depth and magnitude of it was something that made itself clear while filming. Then I think one thing that I was able to do with Unmukt was that you're able to decode a professional athlete's mindset. To give you an example, your investment in your routine, your discipline, your nutrition, your training does not change and cannot change with no assurance whether you're going to play the next tournament or not. Only if you give your 110% do you even stand a chance to be in consideration. And then when you're not selected, how do you look back at me and make sense that where did I go wrong? Where did I not do enough? Would you even have an answer? So that I felt from a third person's lens, that sometimes, you can look back and say, I could have done better, I could have worked harder, I could have looked at things differently. But when you're already on a regime, on a strict professional regime, and there is a paraphernalia of people working around you, eventually, other than statistics, there is a variable out of your control.
Who all then you interviewed for this documentary apart from Unmukt?
So this is made from a personal space. The story unfolds as much inward as it folds outward. So Unmukt and his family are there. His coach is there. Uh, Other people who've written about him, who've been a part of other aspects of his professional life are there. But this is not just about cricket and statistics and performance. This is about an individual journey in the face of adversity. This is about facing two extreme ends of the spectrum, the highs and success at a very young age, and suddenly being shunned into obscurity just 4 or 5 years later, while still regaining composure and balance and still trying to come back in life, which is, I think, a bigger emotional thread for all of us to hold on to.
Unmukt, you also play for Los Angeles Knight Riders. It's a team owned by Shah Rukh Khan. How popular is cricket in USA right now? And has Shah Rukh Khan shared any thoughts about your game?
Well, again, it's I'm pretty lucky to have been to be playing for Shah Rukh's team in US. Major League is getting a lot of popularity now. It's in the third season this year. We just concluded like a month back. Uh, and again, I mean, it's a great franchise. To be amongst those people who have been here for the longest time is something which I really look forward to, and it has been a great experience working with them. So yeah, I mean, nothing personal from Shahrukh, but definitely just playing for his team, playing for a team which won the IPL 2 years back is something very special.
Raghav, in your opinion, how's documentary filmmaking evolving in India, especially with films like Raising in theaters? While feature films often rely on dramatic storytelling to engage audiences, documentary like Sachin a Billion Dream also done very well commercially. It collected close to 50 crores at the box office. What do you think this documentary Unbroken, the Unmukt Chand story offers that will draw people to the theaters?
So, while this is a documentary film, the experience is cinematic, the experience is engaging and entertaining. We want to dispel this notion that documentaries are only meant for television or streaming or are boring. We've given our everything and done our best, where you root for Unmukt on his highs and feel gutted for him during his lows, like you would in any sports film. That you have soundtrack which invigorates you, or soundtrack that makes you reflect inwards about his journey. And what is unique is that here we have a chance where a completely novel, different, and innovative treatment of dealing with a story emerges, where you have familiar elements like drama recreations, which are very close to fiction filmmaking, but you also have interviews, you have documentary sequences, you have archives, and then you have an original score with songs in it. So all of that put together is a new form of storytelling, and I think we'll know in a week's time whether the audience embrace it.
But Raghav, as you were part of Netflix's APAC team, you actually were instrumental in greenlighting films like The Elephant Whisperers, which won an Oscar. What do you think helped that film succeed, and what kind of Indian story do you think, or do you believe that appealed to the Academy members?
See, when you look at any awards, any top tier award, one thing that remains constant is the film has to be made with the highest technical, professional, and narrative caliber. Largely, it is born out of a filmmaker's undying passion towards the story. But a bigger support system is created around that filmmaker, starting with the producers who shepherd the film, then the role of studio executives, the team which I was a part of, because you are able to ease out and iron out smaller instances, smaller detours or distractions for a filmmaker. Like I said, getting archive footage, getting access, giving it a big platform for release, marketing it right, submitting it to film festivals, and during the course of filmmaking, uh, consulting, being that ally of the filmmaker on how to do things differently or presenting all the options which enable the best form of storytelling, which enable creativity to flourish. Because at the end of the day, if the only thing the filmmaker is worried about is how do I put out my best creative version, you will get a lot more emotionally engaging, well-made films. Whereas as a filmmaker, in the absence of that support, you have to worry about 100 other things. To give you an example, you're making an international film, you're making it in an indie capacity. You will have to worry about the flight fare moving from place A to place B. You will have to hire resources locally as well. All those things are a part of practical part of filmmaking, and that's where the support of a producer and a studio comes in enormously. Plus, as a studio executive, these are smaller things. You have to have an eye for that story that stands a chance to click. You have to look at the filmmaker in the eye and see that undying passion, that this is going to be their labor of love in spite of all the obstacles that come their way. Filmmaking is a passion driven medium, but it is also a patience driven medium. I have to love my story as much on day one as I will on day 750, because it will take those many days to make it. My passion, my interest cannot go down. It only has to go up from where it started. If it goes down, it will reflect in the film. And if it goes down, it's not only the film, I'll take down multiple teams with me. And as a studio executive, you are that custodian where you are taking the right bets. Sometimes, in spite of everything working right for the project, projects don't click, and that's the harsh reality of this business. But a half-hearted made film will not click. That is also absolute truth.
And finally, to both of you, what do you think the audience will take away when they go and watch Unbroken, the Unmukt story on the big screen on September 12th?
This is a relatable and an emotional story. It'll strike a chord with parents who've seen their children falter. It'll strike a chord with anybody who's pursuing a dream in spite of the obstacles coming your way. You may be an entrepreneur, you may be a professional, you may need it in your health or your relationship. This documentary will stand a chance to give you hope when you feel hope is hard to come by.
I think through my journey, I also feel that it's everyone's journey. The hardships, the setbacks, and the comebacks. I think we all sort of deal with them in our everyday lives, in our be it a professional world or relationships, personal lives. But I think we just need to, even though sometimes our spirits are broken, but we need to stay unbroken. We need to make sure that we keep working hard for whatever we think we need to achieve in our lives and not give up. And that's the message I feel, if that resonates with people and inspires them, I think my job is done.
Well, with that, I just want to say thank you so much for making this film. Looking forward to watching it on the big screen. All the best to both of you. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Thank you.